we don't know anything where you came from. Obviously, you're not going to tell where you came from, the state and city.
Within reason of what you want.
But in reason,
of course,
and your childhood
and
hobbies.
what got you into this?
Yeah, what got you into it? Can we talk about this?
Because you got into it before it was cool.
Right.
You were a YouTube hacker before it was cool.
I still think it's such a niche to be in Scambaiting community.
Yep.
But when we got in 2016, it was negative 69 niche. It was so far away.
Yeah. There weren't many people doing what we do nowadays. And what got me into it is, and I really wish I had the proper Batman type story that, somehow the Joker they stole money from me or
avenging your parents or
I wish it was like that. I really do. And the sad truth is I had a different day job in IT and I kept getting the scam phone calls. And it just annoyed me one day, and I just picked up the phone and I just made a clear recording of the scam, and that was it. And I was technical enough to get the guy's IP address, and I thought, I'll show this video to his internet service provider, and the best way of sending a large video file wasn't by putting it on email because it wouldn't fit. So I just said, right, I'll upload it to YouTube, which I didn't have an account on. So I uploaded a file to YouTube because it was too big, picked the first name that I could think of, a random name. And
speaking of which, Jim Browning scams.
Yeah.
Did you have a friend named Jim?
No,
or did
it's just
totally random.
Totally random. And that's all it was. So my name is now kind of a brand, and I wish I'd thought of something more clever.
If you could go back in time and rename it, what would you name it?
No, but there's other people who have picked the name Scambaiter, and it tells you exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
And if I'd gone back in time, I'd have probably picked that name. But as it is, this name is now stuck with me, and everybody keeps saying, "Ooh, where's Jim Brown from?" And I'm going, don't know. Nothing to do with it.
But you built such a legacy around that name that now if your name will be Scambaiter or anything that's scam related, it will be like it would be not you, The name of your channel and magnitude of...
And it rings in scammers' nightmares, that name.
That's the nice... I don't know who it was said was... a scammer's worst nightmare is to look under his bed and hope that Jim Browning isn't underneath it when he goes to bed.
You'd rather be the boogeyman.
Yeah. So, in some ways, yes, that's nice. And whenever I have to go onto a bank and say, like, one of your customers is getting scammed, and occasionally I'll use I am Jim Browning, and they'll go, "Oh, I know who you are. I've seen your videos," and you're going, "That's bizarre. That's like somebody recognizing your voice." And you're going, how on earth do they know about this? But yeah, I guess I'm still surprised that there are people who are into scam baiting. But your channel, others similar to it, it is definitely an area where people are interested.
Jim. So you put that video up on YouTube just to send it to the internet service provider. Was it public? Did it go viral? Or what made you do video 2 and 3 and 4 and then get into infiltrating CCTV? How did that happen?
I wouldn't say it went viral at all. In fact, the first few were very... it's got a few hundred views, maybe a few thousand views. But that was still more than I expected it to get. I was expecting 3 views.
Is it still there? Is that still your first video?
I'm pretty sure.
Fraud by smartsupportguys.com.
Yeah, no, it predates that. So I think it probably is gone at this stage. So... no, the very first video isn't there. In fact, I think I removed it because it actually had personal details in there somewhere. I think that might have been it. Yeah. So, no, but the very first few, clear recording of a scam, and it went no further. But as time went on, and I noticed people watching these more and more, I thought, okay, well, maybe I should delve into this a little bit further. It's not just... Obviously, the first ones I reported... exactly nothing happened. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to get discouraged by this because people are still interested in the subject. So I thought I'll try things a little bit differently next time around. And there was one video where I think it was TeamViewer banned connections from India. So what happened was that the guy from India got he got me to connect to his computer, and then he said, switch sides with partner. And as you know, like he's actually just let me on his PC, and he wants me to switch sides so that he can get back to mine. But no, I'll do what you scammers do, and I locked him out of his keyboard and mouse, and then I started downloading all his files, and I thought, this is fantastic.
Oh, wow!
So that was the very first one where I thought, here's something a little bit different, because I can see what he's doing.
Right.
But the one that really made it take off was CCTV.
Right.
Okay, so there was one particular group called Fairmart Travels, and I'll still remember this because it was on the 1st of May 2019, because I've still got the kind of timestamps embedded in my brain at this stage. And Fairmart, as you can imagine with a name like that, they had like a pseudo company where they were a travel agency, but their main business was pretending to be Microsoft. They did the pop-up scams, and they got most of the revenue from that. But I was able to land on a supervisor computer, and I could see the supervisor occasionally firing up CCTV to see who was outside the office doors. And I thought, oh, this is fantastic. If I can probably do what he's doing, get into that system, it would make for a really interesting video.
Wow.
And I had the foresight, I think, to also contact the BBC about it, because I thought there's nothing quite like this on the internet at the minute. And my YouTube channel, I mean, it was big enough. I suppose it was probably over 100K at that point, maybe
400,000,
even, yeah. And I thought
100K. He said
100K.
Oh, 100K.
But it and that was kind of trickling along. This was going for maybe 6-7 years. Get 100K, not a whole lot. But as soon as I published that video, then it really shot up from that point, and it went to 1 million within 6 months.
And that was 2019.
That was 2019. I think the video was actually published in 2020. The footage was captured in 2019.
It's crazy, because if I think back to our mindset in 2017, just starting this, I feel like you were already massive.
Right. That's exactly
my memory is you, and maybe it's just from perspective at the time, but to us at that point, you were already like a household Scambaiter name. Like, well, I guess I didn't realize that it didn't really, for you, take off until like pandemic time.
It's a bit of a niche area, but that really was the one that really made it shoot up. So yeah.
But when you go back on your channel, the first upload, it's stating 11 years ago.
Yes, that's right. 11 years ago. So yeah,
but that would have been 2014. So
2014.
Right? Gosh.
Yeah. That's where like the first videos, that's the first time when you start discovering, trying.
Yeah. But I mean, all it was, if you look at the very earliest videos that I put on, it is purely just engaging and deliberately engaging. So it wasn't even winding up the scammer. It was literally to say, this is what happens if one of these guys contacts you, and you play it out from end to end, but you don't do what you guys do, which is like, take the opportunity to make them feel pretty bad about themselves, So I wasn't doing any of that. So, that's why everybody's video is different. Whenever it comes to Scambaiting, you're sitting there with the air horn, and everybody will remember that one.
Maybe a little more sophomoric when we started with ours, but we had fun. That's I guess all that matters. But